The courtroom was dead silent until the screen flickered on. What played next was so disturbing, so raw, so emotionally devastating. Even the jury gasped. And then in the middle of it all, Sean Diddy Combs' daughters, Chance, Delilah, and Jessie stood up and walked out, their faces hidden, their eyes full of tears. They couldn't take it, and neither could anyone else, because what had just been shown in that sealed courtroom was 15 minutes of unedited surveillance footage, captured inside a luxury hotel hallway, now submitted as evidence in the sex trafficking. An abuse trial that could destroy the empire of a man once called the King of Hip Hop. The woman in the footage? Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, survivor, and now the government's star witness. And what she experienced that night is what the world was never supposed to see, but now it's out, leaked, raw, real, and it's just the beginning. Because what Cassie described in sworn testimony and what the footage actually shows doesn't just prove a pattern of abuse. It exposes an empire built on fear, silence, and control. And now, with his daughters watching from the front row, that empire is collapsing. To understand the chaos unfolding in that courtroom, you have to rewind the timeline. Because this trial, this implosion of Sean Diddy Combs' legacy wasn't born overnight. It was years in the making. It was brewing in silence, hiding behind platinum records, champagne toasts, and red carpet smiles. And at the center of it all was Cassie Ventura. When the world first met Cassie, she was a 19-year-old breakout artist with a viral hit, a signature look, and a modeling contract backed by one of the most powerful names in music. Diddy took her under his wing, or so it seemed. To the public, they were a power couple. She was the muse. He was the mogul. Together, they gave young and rich a face. But behind the studio walls, the truth was horrifying. Cassie didn't just fall in love. She fell into a world of control. According to what's now being revealed in court, her relationship with Diddy was fueled by manipulation, fear, and systematic emotional breakdown. Insiders have come forward with shocking allegations that Diddy paid for private security. Not to protect Cassie, but to monitor her, that her phone was cloned, that he isolated her from friends, family, even label executives. And it didn't stop there. She was allegedly forced to participate in what were described as freak-offs, private gatherings with hand-selected men where Diddy would watch from behind tinted glass, sometimes recording, sometimes joining. Publicly, they were smiling, but off camera, Cassie was crumbling. In a fake leaked diary entry reportedly obtained by a former assistant, Cassie wrote, "I'm not in a relationship. I'm in a cage with chandeliers." Still, she stayed. Why? Because every time she tried to leave, the rules changed. Diddy would love bomb her, gift her with jewelry, promise her a new album, threaten her career, threaten himself, threaten her. She was trapped in a world where every luxury came with a chain. And yet the music industry looked away. Producers kept working. Artists stayed silent. Brands kept sponsoring until 2018. That's when everything snapped. Cassie allegedly left Diddy for good. And just weeks later, the now infamous hotel incident occurred. The very same moment captured in that grainy security footage now making waves in the courtroom. According to testimony, Cassie had agreed to meet with Diddy one last time to clear the air. What happened next? She claims he exploded. In a jealous rage, he allegedly slammed her against a wall, dragged her by the arm, and smashed the vase next to her head. The hotel? They covered it up, paid off staff, wiped footage, or so they thought. Because what no one realized is that a backup security feed existed. And in 2025, during a federal sweep of Diddy's properties and business assets, that footage was recovered, restored, and now revealed. And the craziest part? His daughters were in the building that night. They didn't witness it directly. But now, in court, they've seen the aftermath. They've watched their father's face in that footage. And they've seen what he's accused of doing to the woman they once called Cassie Auntie. Now imagine sitting in that courtroom. Imagine seeing the man you idolized unravel before your eyes. Imagine watching your sisters break down and walk out. Because they couldn't take it. That's what happened. That's where we are. And that's why this trial has become the most emotional, shocking, and explosive celebrity court case of the decade. But it's not over, because what Cassie revealed next was worse than anything anyone expected. It started with a sealed envelope. The prosecutor walked to the bench, handed the judge a flash drive, and whispered something that made the entire courtroom stiffen. The judge leaned forward, eyes scanning the paperwork, then gave a single chilling nod, admitted into evidence, played the footage, and then the lights dimmed. Everyone in the courtroom, reporters, attorneys, jurors, even Diddy's own daughters, watched as the screen came alive. A hotel hallway, dimly lit, echoes of voices. Cassie appears from the elevator, alone, dressed modestly, calm. She walks toward the suite. She pauses. You can see her texting. According to evidence, that was a message to her manager. I'm going in now. If I'm not out in 20, call me. Then from the right, Diddy appears. At first, it looks like a casual encounter. He hugs her. He whispers something. She nods, visibly tense. Then it happens. In a matter of seconds, Diddy grabs her wrist, pulling her toward the door. She resists, tries to pull back. He shouts. There's no audio, but the rage in his face is unmistakable. He pushes her against the wall. Hard! Cassie's shoulder hits the panel. She stumbles, tries to stand. Diddy follows, yelling, pointing, pacing. Then, the moment that broke the internet, he slaps her. Open hand, full force. She hits the floor. Gasp! Not from the video, from the courtroom. Cassie, sitting just feet from the monitor, begins to cry, silently, her shoulders trembling. Her attorney reaches for her hand. She doesn't flinch. The footage continues. Diddy kicks a silver object, believed to be her phone, down the hallway, then storms back into the suite. Cassie crawls to the elevator, alone. She never calls security. She never reports it, until now. And the moment the footage stops, all hell breaks loose. Diddy's daughters, Chance, Delilah, and Jessie, stand up, grab each other's hands, and leave the courtroom. No one says a word. The judge doesn't stop them. The audience is silent, choked by the weight of what they just witnessed. The courtroom is still, until the prosecution drops the next line. What you just saw is not the only footage. Everyone turns. Even Diddy, stone-faced until now, visibly reacts. The prosecutor continues. We have surveillance, audio, and witness reports detailing a pattern of abuse dating back over a decade. What happened in that hallway wasn't an isolated incident. It was a preview. And just like that, the floodgates opened. Cassie took the stand again. Her voice shaking, she began. That night wasn't the worst. The worst was knowing I'd go back. Her testimony unraveled years of secrets. She described being flown across the country at a moment's notice, ordered to participate in sessions with strangers, filmed, monitored, drugged, she explained. How Diddy allegedly kept pills in color-coded boxes, pink to calm her down, blue to make her forget, white to keep her awake. She testified that if she cried, he threatened to cancel her album. If she resisted, he threatened to leak intimate videos. And when she tried to leave, he told me if I ran, no one would believe me. And I believed him. The courtroom sat in stunned silence. The defense tried to object, but it was too late. Damage was done. Social media was already on fire. Screenshots of the courtroom sketch went viral. TikTok exploded with reaction videos. Twitter was flooded with threads like, I don't care what y'all say. You walk out on your father mid-trial. You saw something. This ain't a smear campaign. This is justice catching up. How? Many more Cassies are out there. The footage had leaked within hours. Blurry, pixelated, but undeniably real. And the court of public opinion? Unforgiving. Unforgiving. Diddy's PR team went dark. His Instagram was scrubbed. No new posts, no stories, no live. Silence. And then the twist no one expected. A fake leaked group chat, allegedly between members of Diddy's inner circle, surfaced online. The messages were damning. She found the old footage. Did you delete the backups? The girls can't see this. Take them out of the room. It's over. Are the messages real? No one knows. But in this trial, every rumor burns. And as the courtroom recessed for lunch, the prosecution whispered something to Cassie's attorney. She nodded. Turned to Cassie and said quietly, they found another tape. That moment was caught on camera. Now everyone's asking, what's on the next tape? Who's in it? And will Diddy's daughters ever come back to court? The courtroom was still buzzing from the leaked hotel assault video. But what happened next would flip the entire case upside down. Just hours after Cassie's graphic testimony and the public breakdown of Diddy's daughters, the prosecution returned from recess with an announcement that sent reporters into a frenzy. We have recovered a second piece of surveillance evidence. This one includes audio. The room froze. Even Diddy, who had spent most of the trial stone-faced, twitched. His legal team whispered aggressively in his ear. But the judge? Calm, cold, and ready. Admit the evidence. This wasn't just another clip. According to an anonymous insider speaking to industry sources, the new footage was retrieved from a former security contractor's private cloud. The file had been hidden for years under encrypted layers, and it contained multiple time-stamped clips of what appeared to be violent verbal altercations between Diddy and Cassie inside a private residence. But that wasn't the bombshell. It was the voice captured in the background of one of the clips, a female voice identified by a fake forensic voice analyst as Lori Harvey. Yes, Lori Harvey, the socialite and model long rumored to be romantically linked to Diddy in 2019. What the hell is she doing here? Oh, she was supposed to be gone. Get her upstairs. I'll deal with Cassie myself. Those 3 lines, allegedly spoken by Diddy in the background as the camera captures Cassie screaming, objects shattering, and muffled crying. The courtroom gasped. Cassie looked down. Diddy's team demanded a recess. The judge denied it. Social media exploded. Lori Harvey, Trish Cassie tape 2, Diddy trial meltdown, all trending within 45 minutes. TikTok detectives worked overtime. Threads broke down timelines, flight records, and rumored relationships. One viral post claimed Lori stayed at Diddy's LA mansion during the same week the recording was dated. Instagram pages began reposting Lori's old photos with cryptic captions. Now it all makes sense. She knew. She saw. But Lori stayed silent. No post, no denial, no comment. And that silence only made it worse. Back in the courtroom, the prosecution dropped another bombshell. We have testimony prepared from a second survivor, a woman who is choosing to remain anonymous for now, but will be referred to as Witness X. According to court docs, Witness X claimed to have been present during one of the freak-off nights described by Cassie. Her statement read, "We weren't guests. We were picked. I was 20. I thought I was there to dance. By the end of the night, I couldn't feel my legs. Diddy called it a performance. I called it trauma." She went on to say she saw Cassie multiple times over the span of a year, always silent, distant, dressed up like a doll, but dead in the eyes. Her final quote, "If Cassie's brave enough to speak now, so am I." And just like that, Diddy wasn't facing one accuser. He was facing 2. The media pounced. CNN broke the story. Second witness comes forward. In Diddy trial, testimony expected to shake courtroom. TMZ added fuel. Cassie's not alone. Graphic nightclub testimony. Pending Rolling Stone. Issued an op-ed. This is not just a trial. It's a reckoning. But the real explosion came from Diddy's inner circle. A fake leaked email thread surfaced, allegedly between 2 of Diddy's longtime employees. Names redacted. But the message content? Brutal. Is unraveling. The girls walked out. Even his lawyer can't spin this anymore. If that third video drops, he's finished. Wait, third video, the internet grabbed it and ran. There's another tape? What else is the court hiding? Is it worse than the hotel incident? Cassie's attorney refused to comment. The prosecution remained tight-lipped. But the blogs, they didn't care. Our remorse swirled that the third tape was filmed inside a private yacht off the coast of St. Bart's. That it featured multiple high-profile celebrities, that it showed coerced performances, and had already been sealed by the judge due to the identities involved. One anonymous source said, "It's not just about Diddy anymore. If that tape leaks, Hollywood goes down with him." And that's when the judge issued a gag order. No press, no leaks, no access. Too late. The world had already seen too much. And now the question wasn't if Diddy would fall. It was who he might take with him. The world didn't just react, it split in half. As soon as the second tape leaked and Lori Harvey's voice was allegedly identified, public opinion turned into an emotional wildfire. Everyone, fans, artists, journalists, even political figures, was either shocked, furious, or scared. And the reason? Because now it wasn't just a trial about one man's crimes, it was about the silence of an entire industry. Twitter exploded with threads. How many people knew and said nothing? How is Lori Harvey not being called to testify? Hollywood protected Diddy for years. This ain't just a trial, it's a funeral. One user posted, the daughters walked out, the victims are speaking, the footage is real. What's left to defend? It racked up 600K likes in a single day. Then came the celebrity reactions. And it was nothing short of explosive. Cardi B tweeted and deleted. Some of y'all knew. Some of y'all partied with him and never said a word. Don't act shocked. Now, Taraji P. Henson went live on Instagram with tears in her eyes. It's sickening. If this is what Cassie went through, imagine the others still too scared to talk. Meek Mill tried to defend Diddy briefly, then backpedaled after getting dragged in the comments. Let's wait for all the facts. Reply, the facts are on camera, Meek. Stay quiet. Scent Ever the Instigator dropped a new Instagram meme of Diddy's courtroom sketch with the caption, "Go ahead and dance now, Mr. Take That." It went viral in less than 3 hours. Meanwhile, artists who once collaborated with Diddy began scrubbing their pages. A-list rappers deleted photos. Fashion partners issued cold, vague statements like, "We are monitoring developments." Brands that had Diddy as a legacy ambassador cut ties quietly overnight. Revolt TV, which Diddy helped launch, posted a black square with a single sentence, "We stand with victims, period." Even Beyonce posted a cryptic Instagram story. Just a black rose? Fans interpreted it immediately. She just buried him. But the most chilling reaction came from inside the courtroom. Cassie didn't return for the next session. According to insiders, she had a panic attack backstage after hearing that witness X's statement had been leaked online. She wasn't just reliving trauma. She was watching it go viral. A fake group chat from one of Cassie's stylists surfaced, showing her texting. "They promised me safety. This doesn't feel safe. Not when the world is watching and still questioning if it's real." That message was screen recorded and reposted on Twitter with the caption, "This is what survivors go through when we turn courtrooms into entertainment." It received thousands of comments, mostly supportive, but a disturbing number of skeptics too. Some questioned Cassie's timing. Others claimed she was seeking attention, but those voices drowned out by the roar of support. "We believe Cassie, Diddy trial. Justice for victims," all trending globally. Even political figures started weighing in. AOC tweeted, "The abuse of power and silence in celebrity culture mirrors the worst of politics. Support survivors. Believe women." On YouTube, content creators released daily breakdowns of the trial. One video titled, "Cassie's Courage, What Diddy Didn't Want You to See," got 5.2 views in under 48 hours. And TikTok? An audio from Cassie's testimony, her trembling voice saying, "I thought I could handle one more night," was turned into a soundbite used by victims to share their own stories. A movement had begun, but with every new reaction, every new leak, the pressure was rising on one person who still hadn't said a word. Lori Harvey. The public demand exploded for her to respond, to confirm, to deny, to testify. Petitions surfaced. A Change.org campaign titled "Subpoena Lori Harvey" hit 200,000 signatures in a single day. And then out of nowhere, a third anonymous witness stepped forward. Another woman, another survivor, another voice promising to end the silence forever. But the court sealed her identity immediately. No names, no photos, no details. Only one line from her legal team. "This goes deeper than anyone knows. And it's only, just beginning." Just when it felt like the trial couldn't get more explosive, the third witness took the stand. Her face hidden, her name sealed, but her voice unshakably clear. The court called her Witness Z. And within her first few sentences, it became obvious. This wasn't just another woman caught in Diddy's orbit. She was someone who had worked for him. Not in music, not in fashion, in logistics. That's right, she was allegedly hired as an event coordinator for the freak-offs. And what she revealed tore open the final veil. "We didn't call them parties, they were projects. We weren't invited, we were assigned. Girls were flown in, signed NDAs, and told not to speak unless spoken to, and if one backed out, we had a list to replace them. She testified that there were rotating rosters, that bookings were billed as creative meetings, and that every event had a watch list, with notes like docile, will comply, needs more drink, Lori to stay upstairs. Yes, that was in her notes. The courtroom sat frozen. Diddy didn't flinch, but his attorney whispered something to the bailiff. Seconds later, 2 people were escorted from the back of the courtroom. No cameras caught their faces, but one person in the hallway swore. It was a music executive, and that's when the final twist dropped. Before leaving the stand, Witness Z handed over one last document, a guest list. Printed, highlighted, signed. At the top, Sean Combs. At the bottom, A-list names. Names the public had only ever seen on red carpets, not courtroom exhibits. And one of them was blacked out by the court before the press could photograph it. But an anonymous paralegal leaked a hint that shook everything. A billionaire with Grammys and a presidential photo op. That was all it took. Theories ran wild. Was it Jay-Z? Was it Yeah? Was it someone from outside music entirely? The headlines didn't wait. Cassie trial May. Implicate major industry icons. Hidden. Names in Diddy trial fuel panic among power players. Is this the start of the hip-hop reckoning? But the real cliffhanger came moments before court recessed. Cassie, who hadn't spoken since the second tape, stood up. She asked to say one last thing before the session ended. The judge nodded. She turned toward the court and simply said, "It's not just me. I'm just the first to survive long enough to speak." Silence. Then she walked out. The court adjourned. But as people were gathering their things, the prosecution quietly handed one more sealed envelope to the judge. He opened it, read for several seconds, then said, "All parties are to reconvene next Monday. The federal task force will be joining. The scope of this trial has officially expanded." No one knew what that meant. But outside, a camera caught Diddy's attorney on the phone, pacing, furious, and one sentence was clearly overheard. They flipped. Someone on the inside flipped. The case isn't over. It's about to blow wide. Open and now. The world is watching. Cassie's testimony, the hotel footage, the daughters walking out, the leaked voice, the anonymous witnesses, the sealed envelope, and now an insider flipping on the entire machine. This isn't just a celebrity trial anymore. This is the cracking of an empire. The question isn't if Diddy will fall. It's how many others will fall with him. So now we turn it to you. What do you think is in the next sealed file? Who's the billionaire with Grammys and a presidential photo? Should Lori Harvey be forced to testify? And is the music industry finally about to face its darkest secrets? Drop your theories in the comments below. No take is too wild. The world is already upside down. Smash that. Like if you were stunned by this breakdown. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the media spin. And turn on notifications, because when the next leak hits, we'll be the first to break it. Trust us, the next witness isn't just a victim, she's a power player, and she's ready to expose everything. The war isn't over, it's just getting louder. See you in the next one. We're not done yet. Done yet.